I think it was during college or right after, someone close told my mother to give up on me. Can you imagine? Someone close to me told my mother to give up on me. They actually used those words. Well, you know how mothers are. It's just about impossible to expect us to give up on our children, no matter what they do or how far they stray. This person must not have known that they were talking to my mother. They must not have had children of their own at the time. Mothers are ride or die. We get frustrated. We get angry, scared, hurt, worried, confused, at our wits' end, but we don't give up on our children. Even if we say we give up on our child, it doesn't last long. We always come back to the rescue. Always. It's the DNA of simply being a mom. My mom didn't give up on me, but she did have to eventually give me up. Welcome to Get Real with Alexis Jones. On this podcast, we'll dive into real relationships with real people, guided by the wisdom and perspective of some of the most seasoned voices in our community, our beloved seniors. Each week, we'll unpack the joys, challenges, and lessons learned about love, family, friendship, and everything in between. This is a space for heartfelt conversations, eye-opening truths, and powerful stories that will inspire and challenge the way you think about relationships. We're keeping it honest, unfiltered, and deeply meaningful. So settle in and let's get ready to get real. Let's jump in. Welcome to another episode of Get Real with Alexis, and I am your host, Alexis. The topic for my last episode, episode 3, is Let It Go. I hope you listened to that one. If not, go back and listen to it because this is part 2. I just can't seem to let go of this topic, and I sincerely and passionately want you to live your best life. And there's some things that we can do, that we must do to allow that to happen. So this is part 2. So I'm going to take my time so that what I say makes sense and hopefully it's helpful to you and whoever you share this episode with. Now, I know how difficult it can be to understand what letting go looks like, especially in various situations. And it's even more difficult to do it. So let me emphasize again that letting go is not easy. It's difficult and it can take time. It kind of depends on why you're holding on to something. You can't do anything about it, and it's hurting you. My younger son, Brandon, recently came to visit me just a couple of days ago. We spent some time together. I love it when we spend time together. I'll be honest with you. That's always a special gift for me. We agreed to be more consistent with our get-togethers, our dates, as I call it. So he agreed, and I agreed that he would come over once a week, hopefully on Wednesday mornings, and I'm going to cook breakfast for him or take him out or whatever we need to do. I just want to spend some time with him because I enjoy talking with him. I almost said we enjoy talking to each other. I won't speak for him. Maybe he just tolerates me, but I enjoy talking with him. Getting together takes more effort when they're busy with their own families, and sons in particular take more effort once they get married. I'm just saying. But I want some time with him too. I want some time. Time together is one of the best gifts that we can give each other. I need him and he needs me, whether he knows it or not. Talking by phone, text, or email is good for communication, but it can't possibly compare to being together physically. I told my son, I need to lay my eyes on you, and you need to lay your eyes on me. My Aunt Catherine used to say this to me all the time. It's important that we take time to lay our eyes on the people we care about. So Brandon and I talk about many things. Some topics are sensitive. We have learned how to listen to hear each other's heart, especially when we tackle something that's difficult. And we often do that. I intentionally work hard to apply one of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you haven't read that book, it's really a good read. One of the 7 habits is seek first to understand, then be understood. I also keep in mind what my oldest son, Herman, once said to me. He said, Mom, you don't listen. You just wait to speak. Ouch. That was a gut punch. I didn't like it when he said it, but it was true. But it's making me to become a better listener. I mentioned my interaction with Brandon because among the many topics we discussed that he brought up was pride. And this is how it relates to our topic tonight. Sometimes we struggle to let go because of pride. More about that in just a moment. So in part 1, as just a review, I talked about fear of other people. Many of us are driven to behave in certain ways because we are afraid of what other people might say, what they might think or do. Now, I do value the perspective, the opinions of some people. I seek their input, but this is a small circle of folk who care about me or who care about the truth, who care about helping people. They are people of integrity who are willing and have the courage to tell me the truth. I seek out those people, although I might have to brace myself for a truth that's hard to swallow. I take vitamin pills, and the vitamin pills I take are so big, you know, those horse pills, that they're hard to swallow. I have to make sure that I have plenty of water to get it down. And that's how I feel about some truths. I brace myself as I take a big gulp to get it down. I don't need or want to hear from people who just say what they think I want to hear. That won't help us. Now, it feels good. It lets us off the hook. It tells us, don't worry about it. You're okay. It doesn't help us grow, and it doesn't help us navigate our relationships and navigate those relationships in an effective way. It may leave us basking in the fact that we were right rather than focusing on what's right. Life is difficult, and so are relationships. Now, I just said a mouthful, right? That's an understatement. Friendships, family, work relationships, marriages, children, all difficult to navigate at times. Let me return to Elsa from the movie Frozen. I mentioned her in part 1. Elsa had a gift that she kept concealed for a long time in fear of what people would say or think of her. She was fighting to keep her gift concealed, and it was grueling, to say the least. Trying to keep this secret was doing great damage, not to other people, but to Elsa. At one point, Elsa ran away and tried to hide. The pressure of trying to conceal who she was became so great that she ran away and tried to hide. The opinions of people who don't really matter will have you on the run, physically, mentally, and emotionally. There is no rest when you are on the run. It's stressful. I'm not a doctor, you know that, but you and I know this kind of stress has to have an effect on your health. Anxiety, sleeplessness, poor eating habits, depression, addictions, which bleeds into other areas of our lives. In an attempt for relief, we often go to our drug of choice, whether it's legal or illegal: alcohol, cigarettes, excessive shopping, sex, overeating, and the list goes on. But you avoid facing the real problem. So what is the real problem, Alexis? I believe the real problem is fear. My younger son, Brandon, suggests that pride may also be the problem. Both are harmful. So much so that the Bible says pride goes before destruction. And do not fear is the most mentioned command in the entire Bible, some 365 times. Again, my usual caveat is I share with you based on my own life experiences. As always, I want you to be well informed and to know that you are not an anomaly. We all struggle with fear and pride, some more than others, but we struggle. So let's call a thing. Let's expose it so we can overcome it. Let me review the definition of letting go. Letting go means to release something or someone when the circumstances are out of your control. It means acceptance, not approval, acceptance. It means parar. Parar, again, is a Spanish word that means to stop. I'm suggesting we stop fighting battles that we can't possibly win. Letting go means to give up the fight, but it does not mean throw in the towel. Yes, you let go, but you don't give up. Giving up implies throwing in the towel. In boxing history, the famous Sonny Liston versus Muhammad Ali fight in 1964. There we saw Liston's corner throw in the towel before the 7th round as Ali dominated. Giving up often involves bitterness, helplessness, shutting down emotionally. On the other hand, letting go is releasing control, trusting God with the outcome, and choosing peace. Now, I talked about how not to let go. Letting go in anger or in bitterness is really not letting go at all. I've done that and I found out I really wasn't letting go. Sometimes when I let go, I was left with deep disappointment. And of course, you might feel disappointment, but that's where the work comes in. I had to acknowledge, I had to accept what my feelings were and confess them to God or somebody, or write them down. If you're not there yet, confess, acknowledge, admit them to someone you trust, or as I said earlier, write them down. Admit your struggle to let go of the anger, the disappointment, the bitterness, and be willing to do the work to let those feelings go, to let that person go or that situation. Let it go. Again, I pray for help to let go in peace with no strings attached, without the hook, because we must guard our heart. It's critical that you guard your heart and your peace. Doing that work involved me praying for the other person. I have learned that the way for me to let go of a person that I feel has wronged me or hurt me or disappointed me is to pray for that other person more than once. Doing so allows me to let go in peace. There's something that happens in your heart when you take time to sincerely pray for someone who has wronged you. Sometimes it's not intentional, but we still feel the pain. Let go in peace requires praying for that person. Pray how? I used to ask myself, what do I say? I pray for them as I would pray for me, or pray for my son, or my brother, or my any loved one or friend. I pray for them with that kind of intensity and that kind of passion and sincerity. There is no peace in a heart filled with bitterness and unforgiveness. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I was a troubled little girl growing up. I really was. Some things happened in my home that had an adverse effect on my attitude, my behavior, and how I saw the world. I didn't always feel protected, as every child should feel. I made some good decisions, but I also made some bad decisions. I remember a time in my very young adult years, I think it was during college or right after, someone close told my mother to give up on me. Can you imagine? Someone close to me told my mother to give up on me. They actually used those words. Well, you know how mothers are. It's just about impossible to expect us to give up on our children, no matter what they do or how far they stray. This person must not have known that they were talking to my mother. They must not have had children of their own at the time. Mothers are ride or die. We get frustrated. We get angry, scared, hurt, worried, confused, at our wits' end, but we don't give up on our children. Even if we say we give up on our child, it doesn't last long. We always come back to the rescue. Always. It's the DNA of simply being a mom. My mom didn't give up on me, but she did have to eventually give me up. She had to let me go. Now, this is a really hard place for a parent. It's a particularly hard place for a mother to get to. I was hurting. I was angry. I was unhappy. There was nothing else she could do or say to help me. She tried everything. She did a lot, but to no avail. What does a mother do when her child has gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and nothing works? How can a mother stop trying to get her child on the right path? How can she ask herself to stop trying? What does a mother do when she can no longer stop the pain in her child, no matter how old that child may be? My mother let me go. This had to be the most difficult decision ever. She must have realized there was no other choice. Somehow, at some time, she decided, I gotta let her go. I can't do a thing with this girl. What did that look like? I don't remember all the details, but I remember she stopped trying to reason with me. You know those lectures you get from your parents? She stopped. She was a talker, but she stopped talking. She said what she needed to say to me. It was, I'm talking to you on an as-needed basis. She stopped buying stuff for me. She used to like to bring me home a pretty dress or something like that. She stopped. Actually didn't need stuff. I really needed her. I needed help. None of that stuff helped to change my behavior anyway. I got worse. I was so mean and angry about so many things. I was hurting. And to be honest, many children are in the same place. I don't exactly know how she came to the decision, but at some point, my mom made a decision not to throw in the towel or give up on me, but to give me up to God. whom she loved and she trusted. My mama entrusted me to God's care. She put me in God's hands. Even when I became more rebellious, and I did, after she gave me up and stopped talking to me and buying me stuff, I got worse. And praying for me, I got worse. I became so rebellious. It's almost as if I knew, well, I guess I did know you. Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you still trying? What's the problem? I'm mad about that. You do know that things become worse before they get better, right? It's like when I clean out my closet. I used to clean out my closet every spring and every winter. And I would purge, getting rid of things I didn't need, didn't want, or could no longer wear. And before things got better, it was chaos in the room. Stuff was everywhere. So it gets much worse before we can see daylight again. My mother loved God. She trusted God. She had great faith in God. And she asked God to transform my life and to heal my heart. How do I know this? I know this because one time she left her Bible in the bathroom. There was a lot of people in the house, but we only had one bathroom. I happened to see that she had written my name in her Bible. I suppose this was her way of saying, God, this is an emergency. I'm writing the name down in case you miss it. See, this is the one I need you to help. My child needs you quick, fast, and in a hurry. So Mary, that's my mom's name, was no pushover. Anybody in the family will tell you Mary was not a pushover. So I may have even been in danger of her taking me out. You know the declaration often heard in the Black family, I brought you into this world and I will take you out. I won't share the specifics about how God touched my heart and changed me, but He did. I became so miserable and ashamed that I pleaded with God to change me, to save me. This happened because my mama prayed. I know it did. God did a total 180 in me. I don't know how long it took from the moment my mom let me go and the moment God began changing me. The point is this. My mom had no control, no ability to help me, and she eventually had to let me go. God has a way of getting through when you and I are all out of options. You, in fact, may be out of options, but God is never out of options. My mother didn't give up on me. She gave me up. She gave me up to God because of her trust and her faith. She believed in His promises and she believed He loved her. She believed He loved me. People don't know the trauma I suffered as a child that left me in such bad shape. They know the little bit that I share, but nobody really knows my story. I tell it in bits and pieces, even to my family. But that trauma shaped me and affected my adult years as well. But I had a praying mother. I had a mother who put her trust in God and let me go. And I thank God that she did. Let it go. Whether it's people or something else, if you have done all you can and still can't do anything about him or her or them or it, guard your heart and your peace and let it go. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share it. Please feel free to leave comments as well on any of my episodes. This is Get Real with Alexis, and as who was a motivational speaker? I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but he used to say this. I have the plum pleasing pleasure of being your host. I'll see you next time.